What's up, everyone? Your Freedom Rising here. We're going to melt some glass, listen to some Crowder, followed by going over to Rumble on my channel, Your Freedom Rising, and watch some Alex Jones because YouTube can't handle the truth. And so, God bless you all. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. And so, let's get started.
I present to you Exhibit A. Question of the day. To lead this off, right now it's simple. Media is blaming Trump for dividing the country. We see this all the time, whereas most conservatives, and of course the President Donald Trump, thinks the media is largely responsible. Not entirely responsible, but largely responsible. Your thoughts? And by the way, is political division necessarily a bad thing? I'm okay with calling someone evil if they falsely accuse you of gang rape. Let's start with that. Right now, we start talking to these people going, oh, how can you call your political opposition evil? Hold on a second. Think about this really quickly before we get to the clips. If someone walks into your place of work right now and says, he's a gang rapist, or she's a gang rapist with zero evidence, and a bunch of other people with zero evidence actually don't corroborate it, you're like, hey, they're going to corroborate it. Like, actually, we weren't there. No. But what would you say? Man, that's an evil thing to do. Then your boss says, oh, listen, they might have been out of line with the gang rape accusations. But evil? Okay, so let's set this up. This is how the media has been presenting it.
This is his rhetoric that has created this moment in time, and to ignore that is to ignore a huge component of what's going on here.
Okay, we don't necessarily, just let's go to Trump's response, which I love.
The media also has a responsibility to set a civil tone and to stop the endless hostility and constant negative and oftentimes false attacks and stories. Have to do it.
I love it.
Have to do it.
It goes off
That last part.
And oftentimes false attacks have to do it. You gotta do it, right, Joe? You gotta do it. And now back to Proctor.
You gotta do it.
In his mind, he's like, nailed it.
And every time one of those stories comes up, it's always this smug, elitist, like Trump is the worst person on the planet. He obviously caused all this. It's not true.
Trump divided the country. Oh, hold on a second. Black Lives Matter? Occupy Wall Street? Baltimore? You know this stuff well, right? The whole point is Trump is the one who divided this country initially. Remember, I talked about, we got into so much trouble on this program because we switched the Obama Hope poster and it said bitch, and it was a picture of Hillary Clinton. And the point that I made was you're going to see the night, you are going to see almost to the day, and certainly election night, where everyone who was racist, who didn't vote for Obama, is going to become a sexist. Now we're just all of the things, and you can tack on transphobe to the list. But you're going to say that President Donald Trump is the one who divided the country? Hey, gang rapist. Hey, you're evil, man. Can you believe this guy? The nerve. What's more divisive, smearing someone, and by proxy, all of their political ilk? Or pointing out the smearing? So let's go to the top 5 false smears of Trump. Just from the last few weeks. All right, here's obviously the latest one, that Trump, this is the media's rule, they run with this, stop run with it! I sound higher than number right now! That Trump is to blame for the synagogue shooting. Here you go.
Day 648 of the Trump administration, as the nation has now witnessed in the space of just days 2 acts of domestic terrorism, the second vastly darker than the first. The White House is now consumed by its effort to defend itself from those who see the link between the president's words and what we've witnessed.
Yes, you can find his anti-Jewish rhetoric right next to your rocket fire, Brian Williams. Frickin' asymmetrical genetic anomaly. And by the way, in case you were wondering, the guy who shot up the synagogue thought Donald Trump was a secret Jew. So they just try to say, right, here's what they do. They just say, they say, Nazis hated Jews. Nazis, get rid of socialists, they're right-wing. Therefore, anyone who doesn't like Jews, right-wing. Donald Trump, responsible for the... No! Donald Trump has been a huge supporter of Israel, which is actually a huge reason that the left doesn't like him, as well as the very small minority of vocal racists in this country. Don't believe me? Listen to him yourself.
The Jews have endured terrible persecution, and you know that. We've all read it, we've studied it. They've gone through a lot. And those seeking their destruction, we will seek their.
Yeah, but he's anti-Semitic.
Nailed it. Seeking their. We will seek. All right, Donald, you're landing this plane. Their destruction.
Pause for effect.
And in his head, he's going. The point is, how do you blame Donald? The last thing you can say about Donald Trump is that he's an anti-Semite. No, of course not. Have you met his son-in-law? These are the same people who are like, Donald Trump's giving too much power to Kushner, and okay, I go. Also, he hates Jews. All right, let's move on to the next myth that comes to us from MSNBC, that he's a terrorist sympathizer. Listen.
This has always been a problem with this president. He has always shown a sympathy or a dismissiveness towards terrorism.
What?
He is a terrorist sympathizer.
Let me just say things.
I've never heard that. Good God.
Donald Trump likes terrorists. Also, Kevin Spacey likes women. Oh, now I know not to listen to you. Actually, by the way, if we're going to talk about actual terrorism, Trump has a much better record than Obama, and certainly the rhetoric, which people have talked about as being... Remember the travel ban?
Yeah.
They just started like, listen, maybe Muslims are great, American-loving patriots, but the terrorists are the ones I hate. Oh, really? Now we're anti-terrorist? Barack Obama traded terror. He was like there were baseball trading cards. Terrorists for traitors.
Oh, gosh.
By the way, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed. It doesn't mean a whole lot on YouTube. And, of course, join Mug Club if you want to watch The Daily Show. For people who are not already subscribed to Mug Club, you get 7-day free trial. It's what allows us to keep going on with the free content. You had something you were about to say there, Nimmer.
Oh, I was just going to point out how great that black man was lit. Like, maybe CNN doesn't do everything wrong. He looked great.
Oh,
he looked great.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there.
But you know what? He didn't look as dramatic as you. You're like a Sergio Leone film.
And he also didn't dress in all black. Maybe you should take some cues.
Also
maybe
true.
we both have some distance to cover.
Also, maybe you shouldn't have so much melanin in your skin. Let's be honest. He was a shade, just a scotch lighter than you.
I'm not even going to feel bad when I rob all of you later. No regrets.
Who's perpetuating stereotypes now, sir?
Top smear number 3.
I can't find my button.
From CNN. This is just, you know what? This is just the myth number 3. Of course, the recent, the get her done alarm clock bomb.
Yeah.
Just roll the clip.
This is something they're going to embrace. This is a strategy they're going to move forward with, even in the face of
SE Cup.
literal bombs sent to the news media and Democrats.
Do you think the naughty librarian look still works because I'm 55? No, not right now. I'm just saying you're about to hit that. I used to, like SE Cup, I used to spend time with her, but when I tune into CNN, it's like, hey, SE Cup, you will only be employed here if you do nothing but bash Trump. Got it? So long as the check clears. And let's be clear about this. Don't take our word for it. This is where LeVar Burton, right? You know LeVar Burton. You know, he would say, take the word of a 6-year-old kid's for it. And they're like, I like the book. I'm reading Rainbow. LeVar, why didn't you just articulate this? But don't take our word for it. Trump's actual words on the bomb.
These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. I've instructed authorities to spare no resource or expense in finding those responsible and bringing them to swift and certain justice. And we will prosecute them, him, her, whoever it may be, to the fullest extent of the law.
That seems pretty cut and dry. We know it. We know it's true, folks. We know it's true. I gotta get back to my speech. But you know it, right? We all know it, right?
He went off prompter.
I went off book. I'm like Vince Vaughn. Hey, baby, over here, right? I'm fast talking, wheeler and dealer. Not exactly, but I there's something refreshing about just his response here. He's like, basically, that was a presidential way of saying, you're a piece of shit. Top smear number 2. This is actually a congressperson on CNN. Again, we're back. He's the anti-Semite responsible for the synagogue shooting, but his son-in-law may have ordered the murder of Washington Post journalist. How do we pronounce? Is it Khashoggi?
Khashoggi.
No, you're not. Well, we're going to hear it in the next clip. We're going to hear it in the next clip.
The reporting that Jared Kushner
That's a weird-looking
may
face.
have with U.S. intelligence delivered a hit list, an enemies list, to the Crown Prince, to MBS in Saudi Arabia, and that the prince then may have acted on that, and one of the people that he took action against is Mr. Khashoggi.
Oh, so close, Khashoggi.
What?
Here's the thing. There's actually no evidence of the Kushner hit list, the conspiracy theory. Was it a false flag?
I didn't say that.
Great lead. And here's the thing. After some initial trepidation regarding the blaming of Saudi Arabia, and I talked about that was not true. I'm not a fan of Saudi Arabia in any capacity. Yeah. All right? I have a problem when you make women dress like ninjas, or I don't know if they're allowed to drive now. I don't know the exact rule. It's changing all the time. They're not. They're definitely not allowed to use a passing lane. I know that. After waiting, Trump was pretty harsh on the Saudis. Here you go.
It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal. Could have never been thought of.
I love it. They said, just say, terrible cover-up. That's it, President Trump advisors. He's like, got it. Like, just trust me. You say it, that'll be enough. Absolutely. I will stop. Bad deal. Okay, I gotta say it. I wouldn't have made that deal. Frankly, they would have said, this guy is not gonna make that deal.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. I held it. All right, number one.
Stupid.
Number one. I don't want to say conspiracy. Number one smear against President Donald Trump, and this all ties into this. Again, the idea that we're divided, and people sometimes act as though us doing a change my mind, or us, frankly, just crashing something, just crashing a show, to screw it up because people are out there indoctrinating children. To act as though that's the same as the kind of political division that's occurring on mainstream media. Everything. I don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it. Just watch what the CNN panelist has to say. Number one.
This president has radicalized so many more people than ISIS ever did.
What? Was she talking about the get her done flags and confused it with the bombs? This president has radicalized more people than ISIS. Nimmer, can you confirm?
That like, how many people have been like MAGA and beheadings? Like, I just want to know, like, how many of those?
Allahu MAGA! Electric turkey carver. I just want to make sure you all know this is to make America great again. There were no witnesses. Only 3. Not enough. No evidence, of course, at all. Synagogue shooter, hated Trump, thought that he was a secret Jew. All right. Let's be really clear. This because this was said in context about the issues. He's radicalized more people than ISIS.
No. She obviously has never met ISIS. Right? She has never done any research on what ISIS does. Come on. Right. You can't even make that claim with a straight face.
Well,
she did try to walk it back. They gave her a chance to on the panel a little bit later on. She did a poor job.
Yeah, I don't care if they give you a chance.
She reasserted her point.
Yeah, exactly. She reasserted her point by walking. Again, go watch the clip in its entirety. Watch take the context for yourself. By the way, by that logic, of course, Bernie Sanders has incited people too. Remember, but I don't know if you remember this. I think we have the clip, right? Yep. Yeah. Pelosi's response when people suggested that Bernie Sanders radicalized. By the way, I want to make sure that you understand. I agree with Pelosi here. I think she's weird and creepy. But I agree with her when people suggested that Bernie radicalized the Scalise shooter.
How dare they say such a thing? How dare they, for them to all of a sudden be sanctimonious as if they never seen such a thing before?
You know what, though? With you, Nancy Pelosi, everyone has the right to be sanctimonious. Like, that's the thing. It's like, how dare you get sanctimonious? Usually I'm not a sanctimonious guy, but you're Nancy Pelosi. So I'll take that liberty right now. You were denied communion. And your face is removable. I don't know. I like sanctimonious is only the position to be taken when discussing something with Nancy Pelosi. Here's one thing too. Trump is absolutely hard in the media. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
In conclusion, and I'm getting very near to the end of this. Name that movie line. Comment below. Does he ever accuse them of murder though?
No.
The media, or of being terrorists, or should I say? I shouldn't even say ever. Does he consistently accuse them of murder or family members of murder or of being terrorists or of radicalizing more people than ISIS? Again, someone calls you, when he said they were evil, he was talking about the media who came forward and said that Kavanaugh needed to step down because someone came forward with the who, what, where, when, why.
What's up, Eric?
Accusing a man of being a gang rapist, and all the people who said, we know this isn't true, were accused themselves of being evil. And he said, look, there's no evidence. Evil stuff. Evil stuff.
What's that? Isn't there a Cypress Hill song?
The actual
Put the pipe down.
You know what? False accusations of rape. Let's just say that. Where's Christine Ford? Aside from the GoFundMe, that's now what accrued? Is it $1 million? $800,000?
Pretty close.
Merry Christmas, bro. God bless you as well.
To you, Exhibit A, and B and C and D, and there's about 1 million exhibits. So yeah, listen, there have been acts of violence committed on both sides. I think we would agree about that. Charlottesville, terrible. Sorry. Alarm clock getter
You
gun.
apologize to him as though he was there.
Alarm clock getter. But here's the thing, Charlottesville, everyone was mocking Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Before it even happened, you had people who would be considered alt-right mocking it, and people who aren't even considered alt-right. Myself and friend Owen Benjamin were like, this is ridiculous. There's people with Walgreens tiki torches. This is absurd. Of course, there were like 20 people. It was terrible, though. So you have that example, and you have alarm clock packages. That's about it. Mass violence as a movement is exclusive to the left. When was the last? Let me ask you this: when was the last conservative Baltimore? When was the last right-wing Portland Antifa pulling people out of cars and punching them in the face? When was the last time we had conservatives knocking people out at airports en masse because of #Fight415? Right? What? Hold on a second. Someone's near me for a fillet of fish. Are they going to automate it? Oh, I'm going to go punch an old lady at the carry-on at Carousel. This is what happens. Black Lives Matter, offing cops. Remember the Dallas shooting? That's more than all right-wing extremists combined recently. Anything comparable.
Yeah, brother, I'm making a mushroom pendant. It's to go on a necklace.
And I know a lot of you weren't around at
It's
this
just
point.
some production work I've been doing.
Would actually leave public parks cleaner than they found it. Occupy Wall Street, they were throwing AIDS-ridden towels on by the way, fellow protesters' tents. Black Lives Matter, Baltimore, anything comparable en masse as an actual movement coming from the right. Okay, I'll wait. Bring it, comment. I'll wait, you evil bastards. Hey there, YouTube viewer. If you like this video, you first off should probably seek counseling, but you should subscribe or hit the notification bell or watch one of these videos that's playing. The truth is, I don't know what any of that means anymore. If you try and subscribe or hit the notification bell, you won't be notified. And if you try and click one of these videos, it's just going to take you to BuzzFeed Boldly Fat Broads as they get carried out of their houses where they had to break down the north wall and they get carried out in a land whale tarp. I don't know what's happening on YouTube. I know what's happening with Mug Club. LouderWithBetter.com/Mug Club. You get to watch the daily show, 1 hour every single day, not just clips, along with like 15 other shows for $69 annually if you're a student or veteran or military. And you get to keep us here on YouTube for free because we can irritate them by your support. It's worth it, right?
Yeah. Thanks, man. Been working on it. It's just one of those repetitious practice type things. What you been into lately, brother? I've just been doing this. Been hitting the gym. Been chilling with family recently. Gotta love the holidays. Working way too much. Yeah, I feel that, man. I'm just coming out of about 4.5 years of factory work. I'm about like 9 months out of it right now. But yeah, on one hand, it's easy to take the automatic check for granted. And on the other hand, it's kind of hard to put a price on time at a certain point. Got some UV reactant glass here. That's what I'm going to work on today. Got some shows coming up, so I'm going to get some nice product. This stuff lights up pretty good in the black light. Got it encased around like a it's a dark blue, cobalt blue, real dark. So I'll work on some of these. Wow, nice, man. I bet it's cool getting to see those high-dollar houses. I was working for my niece's her and her boyfriend have a moving business, and I was working for them helping them move, and one of the jobs they had with the contractor was the guy was a house designer, so they have us unload a bunch of cabinets. We'd meet them there with a trailer full of cabinets, and we'd unload them. Some of those houses were multi-million-dollar houses. It was pretty wild being inside of them. Even I'd say 3/4 of the way finished. But it's cool. It's neat to get to see some of those houses. I bet you get to. See if I can find some Timcast. We could watch the Marianne Williamson Timcast. It was alright. I watched some of it. Her place in politics is questionable to me, to say the least. Wow. 20-foot high cathedral ceiling. That's nice.
Pineapples. Chicken teriyaki. This is chicken teriyaki. Are these crab cakes? Yep. Wow, that looks freaking good. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I think we're gonna do a white elephant or like a gift-giving exchange or something like that. I'm pretty excited to see who gets what. I'm not partaking in that this year. God is good. Consciousness is real.
Oh wow.
You're lucky to have it.
Didn't realize that was like a purple.
Oh, you got it? Spread the love.
For the cap.
Say hello to your friends.
What do you want to say to the people, Dennis? These folks over here, they're not that bad, you know?
No, it's still gonna be on camera.
Huh?
It's called Secret Santa, not Public Santa, Wesley.
Get
out of here.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong part. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Wait, does this say what they are? So?
Not all of them. That's not right.
What?
That thing is not right.
Oh, yeah, but these are the ones.
These are all vegan.
Oh, nice, man.
I don't know what shoes are.
What kind of volunteering are you gonna do in the prison? I'm in the process of. I found out I can get my record expunged for $1,500, and I really think it's going to open up some doors like that. And so I need you to just bite the bullet and do it. I was hoping to pay off some debt, but I feel like it might be more important and time critical for me to get rid of felonies I have from over 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I'm the one.
That's what's up, though.
Just taking in the room.
Like standing, you had a chicken right here, and I was filming Andrew. Like Andrew was standing in front of me, and Andrew was about to take a bite. He was like, "No, you can't film me eating." He's like, "That's rude." And he walked away, and Carter was in the back and took a bite, and then saw me with. right? But I was like, you just were there. You just kind of fucked up. Those things are kind of right. Yeah, those are normal things. The problem is, and I've talked about this with other people, and I actually heard James Lindsay came up with the idea. We're talking, I was like, oh, he's totally right. Jon Stewart did massive damage to the popular culture in the United States and to the U.S. as a whole because he made any ideas that come from conservatives toxic. Yeah, he made any idea that comes from someone on the right is laughed at, is mocked, is made fun of. So that means anyone that comes up with ideas that's on the right, doesn't matter what the idea is, there's a whole generation of people that just do not automatically knee jerk that's bad. No matter what happens. This is very much the case. Merry Christmas to all. To all again. Right, that's the word, right?
Wow. That is awesome, Eric. For sure, man. I'm going to keep you in my thoughts, man. Prayers. That's amazing, actually. That's an inspiration to have a prison ministry.
Yeah, but it's a military one, a special one. It's one that the military uses. It's supposed to be special, and it does all those extra ones.
Yes, because it does multiple
Okay,
calories.
I don't know. That's very
fucking great.
But then I gotta get
Bullets.
Oh, are they the right ones?
This is
I looked on your Instagram. I know you're in your Twitter to see what gun you had.
that is beautiful. Thank you so very much.
I was so happy.
Thank you so
I
much.
got you because I was like, this is gonna be an easy thing.
That was so good.
That made me happy.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I know what you mean. It's a different world in there for sure.
Wait, do you have to guess who?
And even though it seems like your life's on pause, it's never that your life is on pause because you're still experiencing life, even though you're in there with a whole bunch of other people experiencing that as well.
Wait, what are these? It's a hacky sack! That's actually awesome. A hat and some socks. This is awesome. Who did? Who from?
Who's your guess?
Thank you. Are you supposed to own up when like the guest? I don't think so, but.
Okay. Oh, this is fancy. A girl did this one. Spider folk too? Wow.
Spider folk.
I feel it, man. I read a lot of books while I was locked up as well. Yeah, you definitely have more time to read books.
I was trying to be gentle with it. Listen, I can't have any paper cuts. I have an important weekend. Oh, God. We're in Maryland. You're a felon if you carry weapons. Oh, yeah, it's true. All right. All right, 6.
Yeah, it was 2014-15 to me that I was reading all those books.
That happens. The car that burned down, the Stanley survived. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you.
You like it?
I do. Good. Were you my Secret Santa?
Yes, that was me.
Thank you.
Good Christmas, man.
That's funny. Dude, the Stanley's good. Thank you. That's all right. There's like half the people. Hey, great Chris. Great wrap. Did you wrap it? Wow, very impressed.
There's two Sarahs. I thought maybe there was some kind of a mistake. So it actually did put Sarah resin. Okay, nice. So we know. Oh, this was definitely wrapped by a girl. That's what counts if he was wrong. How do I open it? Oh man. This is gonna be a while.
We've got all day.
No pressure. Okay, I'm just gonna have to.
Can we get a knife?
Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is so much stuff. Ooh, a fanny pack. Very stylish.
It's a fanny? Oh, it is.
It's a fanny pack.
Oh, it was like a clutch.
Open it? Did someone say open it? Someone said open it. Someone said open it? It sounded like a girl's voice. Oh my gosh, it just keeps going. Socks, yeah. This is lots of girly stuff. Hand sanitizer. Gum. For my breath. Lip gloss.
Is it a kid or is it a kid?
Yeah. Sweet, okay. Yeah, lip gloss. Okay. There's more. There's also this. Candy. Oh my gosh. You went outside for a minute.
Everybody's gonna be car sick after this one, man. Trying to follow you. Yeah, two?
I know, whoever this is putting everybody else to shame. Glass can cup. I can't open it. Does anybody have scissors? Or a knife? Or car keys? Or anything?
My keys.
Yeah, man, I got. Last time I got out was, I think April of 15. It was springtime of 2015.
Ooh, I love these things. With an S on it, this is
So when my hair started, I started growing my hair back out,
It was Alex.
and
Thank you. This is like beautiful.
they started to dread. They've been dreaded ever since. 8 years now.
Thank you, thank you. Where am I going? I'm going back here.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Somebody knows my obsession with mucklucks. Who would that be?
That was me.
You know,
No, I didn't know, but I thought that those kind of socks, like, because they got the little
I'm
grippies
like
in the bottom.
obsessed with mucklucks. I have like 10 pairs of muckluck
That's
shoes.
awesome. I just figured those were comfy and nice. So.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's so, I can't believe it's awesome.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it.
That is so freaking awesome. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I have like 5 pairs of those slippers and like 5 pairs of those shoes.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Thank you.
I've transformed quite a bit myself. Still striving to move forward. Definitely don't do the crap that was ending me up in there. That was landing me in there. I don't do that anymore. So. No selling drugs. This is bad.
No, come on. This is ridiculous. Somebody very savvy got the very savvy. Or they got really good information. I have no idea. Somebody got inside information. Are you serious? Oh my god!
Oh, we got each other.
It's an act of God.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's meant to be. Oh, dude.
Yeah, Alex helped me out. I cheated a little bit.
Thanks, man. Awesome.
I think the other bag of almonds, I think my favorite part of it.
Glazed donut almond? Oh my god. This is terrific, man. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. Thanks, Hannah Claire.
This is a lot.
You got loud in here. You gonna film you filming?
It's for practicing when I'm shooting at government zeppelins. Spoiler alert, I do not have the intention of doing so. Clear all out. It's flowing around the room. Alright, 13-piece field pistol cleaning kit. This is ironic because I don't own a gun.
That's funny. Better get one, buddy. Have you got your felonies expunged, Eric? Man, I really want to. The lawyer told me it was $1,500.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home. Alright, do I have to guess who did this? You were making a face like it was.
I swear.
Let me check the handwriting on it. I didn't put a name on the board who it was for. I know who it isn't. Judging on the handwriting.
Alright, who was it? Oh, you can guess from me. You already guessed? It's from me. You didn't guess? Oh, I would have guessed. I don't even know.
You are relieved. Thank you. Thank you. Just open it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've let it ride so far. Well, that's cool that you're able to get in the prison still. That's good. I mean, for a ministry.
A massage gun.
Yeah.
It's like a gun. That's legal in Maryland.
Yeah.
It's got parts of it are in there. It's pretty sick. Who gave me this? Gas.
Yeah. Try your the handwriting on the back. Maybe you can noodle something out.
What'd you get, Carter?
I got a massage gun, but I got to do a handwriting analysis real quick. There's no way this is a girl. There's no way. Nancy? Sorry. I tried. That was a trick question. That was like a reverse psychology thing. Leslie?
Yeah, I bet, man. I was trying to do volunteer work at the juvenile school where I went, and I know the guy that runs it, and he basically said I can't be on the books because of my I can't pass a background check. So.
Oh, very nice. Universal socket.
Please, you gotta show me your cards.
I do. I will have to. We're up to you. Man. Hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Just looking good. Oh, aren't you supposed to? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, boss.
And no one's recording, so he was like,
I had audio there, so I still have all that. But yeah, no camera, nothing.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah. Or it's like, you're either already gonna get
okay, Sarah Noble.
Yeah.
Check this out. Oh, it's a little triceratops. That's awesome.
I get it.
I get it. Yeah, it was actually named after the triceratops from Left 4 Times, so I like it. It's cute. Oh, and you know, you never can go wrong with some fluffy socks. I love it. I don't know, it's pretty great. I love it. Wait, so it has to know someone who... Is this you? Fluffy socks in a trash... No, it's not you.
It wasn't me.
Damn it.
But I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Wait, who would it be? It has to
Socks
be
have
someone...
been very popular too.
I mean, you can't go wrong with fluffy socks.
Like the whole time, I was like, please have a girl be my Secret Santa. Please have a girl. I got Raymond did mine, and he did awesome.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yo, he's a man.
Yeah, he hooked me up.
He's not a boy.
He
Yeah.
went to Zoomies.
Are you serious? I love that. Is this you? It was me. I was like, someone, whoever knows the story of the Triceratops had to give this to me. I was like, who knows the story? It turns into a race car. Oh, you're laughing.
Oh shoot! Who did this? This is funny. This is like a trap. This is like a booby trap.
Oh, nice. Skull with a cactus.
That's good. That is good. That is good. I know.
It's a metaphor about life and death and being sharp.
It's a memento mori.
See, it's to symbolize a brain.
This is what my skull would look like. You're sharp-minded. Yeah.
Your brain looks like too.
Did you do this?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. And I almost injured myself severely transferring that into there.
It hurt me actually opening it.
Yeah, I tried to put a caution warning, but then I thought it might be funny.
I was present. Good job. Honestly, right now, I almost feel present. Wow, littering it, Dennis, Jesus. It was an accident.
Conspiracy stuff.
Tom O'Neill? Tom O'Neill!
Tom O'Neill? I imagine it must be you.
No, it wasn't. No, I didn't know what it was. I was guessing.
CIA and the Masons.
Oh, so sorry that I put it.
No, I assumed it would be one of these guys. But maybe not.
Huh? What?
I think it'd only be one of these guys, really.
Of who? What's that?
Masonic CIA stuff.
Oh shit, that shit's fucked up.
It's probably true because it's in paper.
If it's in a book, it has to be true.
I believe that.
No, you can't print lies. You can't put it in a book if it's lies. Just like the internet.
Very nice. Good one, man.
That's my favorite book, dude.
Yeah?
It's a Turtle Man, though.
It's very heavy. Oh my god. Cute paper. Sharks? Baby sharks? Oh, nice. Little switcheroo. So it's from a skater. Actually, either way. It's from a skater. Okay. Probably on the river. It's one. Okay. Is it a Taylor or is it Dennis? Yes! Thank you.
That's crazy to say.
Spanish wine or pub.
Lisa? Lisa? Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, those cameras in my face are very, very well now. Alright, can I bend down? I just picked a chocolate. Oh, I need this for like right now. Who got this for me? Am I supposed to guess? Because I don't know. Okay, whoever did this, yes, this is the most amazing thing ever. I feel something else. So good. This is so good. Who did this? I have no idea. Is it how they attack? No, I did that. It has to be a one. Who did this?
Literally everybody said it.
This has to be a one. No man would ever know to get this. Is it you? And you know what? I'm so glad it was you, because you're my chicken love. I love you guys. You're welcome. Enjoy. Spoil yourself. I just figured, you know, this is cool. Who painted them? I don't know, but I love it. They really put some thought into that. I really love it. I've heard like 4 times today. My elephant. Secret Santa forever. It's like being a red vine person. Thank you. I got it from this like super cool beautiful. Are you gonna try to wear one? I already gave one to Sarah. My daughter made me wear one. Ring. You need a ring. I'll do even slower. I'll go slower.
Gonna play it fast forward. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get out to that if I don't get slow. I'm just gonna drop this on the ground. I'm littering. What's up? Oh, this is so cute. I think it actually goes with my shirt. That's so exciting. I don't know. I would say Taylor gave it to me.
I already gave my gift.
Who's left? I think Alex gave it to me. Okay, how many more times?
I was given a photo of the
So is it Wesley? Who is this?
Nice.
You're close with me.
Is it Aaron?
Have you got much snow where you're at this year? Or wait, you're close to where I am, aren't you? I know we haven't got much snow at all here. There's like 2 days where it snowed. But yeah, that's all the reason that you should get the snowblower ready, probably, because chances are we could get hit in January or February. Probably out of nowhere.
Gotcha light.
So, this person thinks I'm a man on the grill, so that's... They like my wife, that's a hint. Chris Hart?
Oh, that's right. You probably had some snow up there, huh? This one turned out funky, which is proper for fungi.
You did good.
I just thought, like,
Easy clean wipes. That's actually really good for traveling.
be right back.
Okay, we have a problem. It's a sweater. Use your teeth.
Nobody has a knife. The Angels got knives. Dave, I cut yourself.
I thought he was on a toilet, which would have been the stinker.
Who could it be? Who could it be?
It's either got to be Brian or Bert. Thank you.
Yeah, because they're the only ones who know you love Big Mom.
Because everybody else is.
Where are they?
They're the only two that have kids left, and they're the only two that haven't.
But where are they?
Burton's not here, and Brad's driving.
Oh.
I don't know. It's got to be Bergman or Brad.
Should we ask? Who's responsible for the Bigfoot? Was it you? Oh wait, you would never buy it.
I was gonna make some. What am I, Jewish?
Oh, roasted.
Here, a pass this back to you.
Oh, it could have been Charles then. No, it couldn't be Charles. He got caught.
I didn't get my Secret Santa. It's definitely Bert. I figured out who it was.
Oh.
Because he's not here.
Then yours, there's no way that yours is from Brian.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
He's so mad. Oh, nice.
Smash wash.
I thought it was a toilet.
It does look like a toilet.
I know who got you. Aaron didn't give it. He had hand first. You weren't supposed to have hand first.
You typed HCV into the thing.
Oh, I meant to send that to someone else. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Just the U.S. one. I watched the Canadian one. Some of it, at least. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they freeze their bank accounts, didn't they? They froze their bank accounts anyways, I should say. And then shut down the GoFundMe. That was wild. I don't even think you can have a handgun in Canada anymore. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the guy that was reading off the teleprompter ended up resigning because he basically he felt guilty that he was presenting the guy who was a Nazi, who was being praised. Yeah, that was an interesting one for sure. I heard about it briefly. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people can see through their charade. They somehow dupe some people, but overall, I don't think most people buy into it. Maybe that's hopeful thinking on my part. Yeah, it is dumb. They put it right in your face and then try to pretend like they didn't do it. Or actually, like you said, virtue signal that we did it. And it's like, wait a second. No, that's what you're doing. You're calling us Nazis because essentially you guys are. It's wild. I was surprised that our new speaker just pushed all that money through to Ukraine. Liberal New York, yeah, your governor, isn't that woman? Yeah. That's rough. Can only imagine. Hot. Alright, see what I can go on here. Hot flame. Yeah, fire's hot. I'll show you.
And then you have the wounded in action, I call it, the thousands, tens of thousands more killed in action or wounded in action by that particular drug that's entered into this country through the Mexican cartels, handed over to the Mexican cartels by the Chinese Communist Party. This is who's bringing this into our country to destroy our country.
Yeah, it is. It's super hard to see when it's glowing.
And we have a government that is complicit in this. We have a federal government that is complicit in this. And we have the RNC and the DNC, right? The Uniparty, these two organizations that and like I don't even like to use Republican or Democrat anymore because those parties don't exist. We either have globalists and people who buy into this globalist bullshit, excuse my Irish, or we have, I call it sort of Americanists, right? We have people who totally believe in this country, believe in the freedoms, still believe in the sentiment that was founded in our documents, right, in our Constitution, in our Declaration, in our Bill of Rights. I believe that more and more Americans are moving toward that. That's why they're going after Trump so hard right now, because they're trying to make us all believe that he's a dictator, that he's the Antichrist. I mean, they're calling him all sorts of names. Even today, this is one of those, like, how dare you, Jack Smith? Jack Smith, who's the lead prosecutor, the special prosecutor against Trump for a couple of these cases, the principal one is January 6th. He files in court today, or maybe it was last night, but he files in the last 24 hours that he does not want to use any of the evidence for January 6th that will prove that the FBI had agents on the ground.
Right.
January 6th, he's asking a judge to not allow that evidence to be placed into this trial that they're going after Trump on. I mean, he doesn't want J6 evidence to be used in a J6 case against the president
they're glass
of the United
mushrooms
States
too.
of America,
It's
which
colored
is an
glass.
unprecedented case in U.S. history. Folks, whether you like Trump or not, this has never happened in this country. We have never had a president of the United States. I mean, we're talking 91 felony counts for 750 years. This is so outrageous. This is not America. This is a takeover. And I use the word Bolshevik. Okay, Bolshevik. Go study the Bolshevik revolution of the post-World War.
That's the globalist playbook.
That is the globalist playbook. And when you look at how they did that, how Joseph Stalin ended up on top there, and then as they migrated over the last century, because this has taken a while because they had a plan put into place, and it really started, and I could go back and talk about this, it'd be a whole other show, going back in the late 50s under Eisenhower for a while, and then clearly into the 60s. But now we're here. So they took over these institutions. They took over our healthcare industry. They took over our education system. They have taken over our justice system.
And now they're getting ready to close the net. Let's come back and finish up with that and then get into the other geopolitical issues with General Flynn and Clay Clark, and then send me that tweet because I'm going to retweet it out, or X. Here it is, sir.
You got it.
Just send it there, and I'm going to get that out right after the break. We're going to play that clip of Obama calling anybody that disagrees with him sewage. People on the street, and also folks that call on the show, constantly give me credit and say, oh, you're so great, oh, you're so wonderful. No, you're great, you're wonderful for keeping us on the air and spreading the word. Our real power is you, the audience of activists, the men and women in the arena, and I thank you all, and I salute you all for your support. Look at the huge whistleblowers now going public on the COVID poison shots and on human sex slavery and trafficking. The globalists are in deep trouble, and that's because of good men and women in government, in the private sector, blowing the whistle. And the only way the information gets out is all of you sharing the information, taking clips, taking the articles, taking the videos. It really is changing the world. Thomas Jefferson said the only way that tyrants can flourish and prevail over humanity is if good men do nothing.
Right,
well,
Eric?
We are the good men and women, and we are not doing nothing.
Isn't it wild?
We are taking action. So, Christmas 2023 is already here. Hard to believe we're just a few weeks away from Christmas. And
people still try to say he's a nut despite his proven accuracy.
Because so many of the products that have been
I mean,
sold
nobody
out,
makes
the
every
supply
shot
chain
they may
breakdowns
take,
are
but
finally in stock at InfoWarsStore.com.
he definitely has
So
a
yeah,
good
store
percentage.
Double Patriot. An additional 10% off when you sign up for auto ship on your next order. Cancel anytime. And things like X2 and Turbo Force sold out for many months. X2 for over a year. Finally back in stock at InfoWarsStore.com. Then we have VasoBeats that has nitrous oxide. It produces that in your blood, that cleans out your blood and does so much, just like Nitrate Boost does. Another great product at InfoWarsStore.com. They just both do it from two different herbal directions. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, we are changing the world together. We're having a massive effect. But even if we weren't, we would still expose evil. We would still fight evil because God is watching, and that's our job. We don't do this for other people. We don't do this to look like the best guys around. We don't do it to show off like we're heroes. We do it because the children need to be protected, and God is watching. So for myself and the whole crew, I want to thank you all for keeping us.
Especially during COVID, Alex Jones was calling him out from the rip.
at one time. So this is the mentality that we have.
Desperation.
It is very desperate. This war has been over for a long time, folks. And again, it was based on limited objectives. Whatever you want to think about either side, we have poured money, billions and billions of dollars, into the Ukraine, to protecting the Ukraine border as a distraction, and not just distracting to allow our own southern border to be invaded, but as a distraction for all the evil things that the Biden administration has been involved in, that the Obama administration was involved in. Ukraine has been the hub of human trafficking, especially child trafficking, the hub for weapons trafficking, the hub. This is in the European continent, and then as you go down into Southwest Asia and into Africa, the hub for drug smuggling, the hub for money laundering. That's what Ukraine has been about. And that's why all this interest, and all of a sudden this is not about bringing Ukraine into NATO or bringing Ukraine into an organized European Union. This is about protecting the criminal behavior that people in our government have been behind for many, many years.
And now F-16s are being sent. How do you expect this to go?
Yeah, the way I expect it to go is we're going to continue to fund this thing because our stupid Congress just voted on the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, to give them another batch of money. It's just insane. So this is going to continue to go. It's going to continue to get exacerbated. It's not going to end anytime soon. The war in Ukraine, the war in Europe, is all about protecting the rear end of the guy in the White House, okay, and protecting the rear end of the previous guy in the White House.
Because if there's a new government, the prosecutors will come after for Burisma.
So these sort of wars of distraction, I call them, right? And also,
we thought Clinton was bad for blowing up African aspirin factories as a diversion.
Right, for that, and also going after where we still haven't resolved, the accountability for the only U.S. ambassador that has been murdered in decades and decades. So, the war in the Middle East, a distraction. So when we talk about these things, we're like, wait a second, we just did 2 decades, in fact, more than 2 decades in Afghanistan and principally Iraq, and we retreated in Afghanistan and left $100 billion plus and all kinds of weapons, and we retreated with under fire, and we left American citizens behind enemy lines. Iraq didn't go much better. And now we have U.S. forces being attacked at sea. We have U.S. forces being attacked in Iraq, being attacked in Syria, and we're in a defensive stance, and we're all kind of going, the American people are going, what the hell is going on? Don't we have anybody in charge? Remember the phrase, we got to get rid of the Trump administration. We got to get rid of these people because we got to get adults back in the room. Well, it ain't adults. These are crooks, criminals, and corrupt individuals and groups of people, small groups of people that can be defeated. We can actually do this, folks.
It's a criminal cult robbing us.
This is an unbelievable time, and we've got to wake up, America.
Because they could push us right into nuclear war. That's a real threat, and this weakness is signaling to China. Let's briefly talk about Taiwan, and then I want to shift gears, you said, to what the distraction has been, these wars. The open borders and the North American Union system that they're openly setting up this security perimeter using the migrant crisis they engineered as the pretext for this Declaration of North America that Lou Dobbs warned about in 2007, my film Endgame's about. Now it's being rolled out.
Yeah, the Declaration of North America. This is really important. So Mexico's Obrador, Biden, and Trudeau, right? Those are the 3 leaders that met, and they met on this, well over a year ago. And it basically has 6 things, and I'll go through these quickly. Number 1 is diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're all going to be that, right? This is crazy. The second thing is climate change and the environment. Number 3 is competitiveness, and they use these words, like they're soft words, competitiveness. What this means is that the United States is going to pay for everything. The 4th thing is migration and development. There's something that's floating around the internet right now that the United Nations put out. It's a video on migration, how migration is so, it's so the new thing. It's the way we've got to go. It's an unbelievable video put out by the United Nations. Migration and then the development that comes with that. The 5th and the 6th thing, 5 is health. These are the kinds of things that they're talking about. What do you mean by health? Like, are you talking about we're all going to live under one health umbrella? We're all going to be dictated to about what our health is going to be. And the last one is regional security. Regional security, meaning the northern hemisphere of this part of the planet The bottom line of this is that the United States of America, on this declaration that was signed by Obama, signed by Trudeau, signed by Obrador, this means that the United States is going to take the brunt of the illegal invasion, and we are going to pay for all of this. American taxpayers, never mind what's happening in Ukraine, never mind whatever it is now, $300 billion, all kinds of weaponry, what we lost in Afghanistan, what we lost in Iraq, what we're losing in the war in the Middle East right now in terms of resources, and we're going to lose lives there pretty soon. And all this border invasion that's going on, what I talked about with Panama, what's happening, and we'll talk about what the Chinese are doing over out in the Pacific with Taiwan. I mean, this is a global alliance that's principally led by the Chinese Communist Party, and their plan is by the end of this decade, not by the end of this century, to be the #1 world superpower and to have their currency as the currency of choice and not the U.S. dollar. This is a big, big deal, and this is why more and more voices in this country are going to speak up and have to speak up, especially some of these people that we've been talking about, that are voices that matter. The more you get attacked, the more you're probably right over the target.
That's right. We're going to go to break here with a couple little short videos so we can get Alfie Oakes, another great patriot. I'm glad you said we ought to get him in here because I love shaking his hand, see him. I missed it. I wish he came back on as a full guest soon, and, to get his on the ground, what inflation's doing, what he's actually witnessing. We got to go to break here in about 2 minutes. We'll remember the final segment with General Flynn. We did put out his most viral tweet, or X, about Obama being the raw sewage. We're going to play that clip when we come back and talk to Alfie Oakes, but we got about 2 minutes to break. Closing comments from the great Clay Clark.
Well, I just want to bring this up. Zelensky has an ambassador by the name of Marina Abramovich, okay? Marina Abramovich is a spirit cooker,
devil worshiper,
Satan devil worshiper, and that's his ambassador.
To the children.
Right. The ambassador to the children is Marina Abramovich, who's a spirit cooker.
You can't make this up.
Everybody needs to go to DuckDuckGo and do a search for Marina Abramovich spirit cooking. Second, Jeffrey Epstein had a temple on his island to pray to who? Satan. Jeffrey Epstein had a temple on his island to pray to who? Satan. Look it up, folks. Go to DuckDuckGo, type in Epstein Island Temple.
It's all true.
And then finally, you look this up. This is important people to know. Bill Gates has a spiritual advisor by the name of Marina Abramovich. The same Marina Abramovich who's the satanic spiritual advisor for Zelensky.
She's in the WikiLeaks as a Aleister Crowley priestess.
So if you look it up right now, you say, well, who would fund the Mark of the Beast technology being created by MIT? Go to DuckDuckGo or Google and type in MIT Quantum Dot. So the technology that stores your medical and financial...
By the way, they finally, Bill Gates officially rolled it out 2 days ago. Here, overhead shot.
There it is.
They're now going, the new vaccine's this patch, which is the quantum dot.
So the people that funded the creation of the quantum dot are Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. The same Bill Gates, who has a satanic spiritual advisor, and the same Jeffrey Epstein, who's the world's most prolific pedophile, who put a temple on his island to pray to Satan. And again, if it wasn't for Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, General Flynn...
At least it's running.
Let's be clear, it's the listeners in the audience, though, that have backed us. It's there. It wasn't for them.
If it wasn't for the InfoWars listeners like you, if it wasn't... I'm just telling you, folks, we are starting...
You're the force multipliers.
It's happening. It's happening. I just want to encourage people.
It is happening.
It is happening, and I appreciate you for being anointed.
No, I appreciate you and all of you. It's the listeners, though. But, folks, we've been right. You've been right. We got a fighting chance now. How do people find your great events?
Yeah, timetofreeamerica.com, timetofreeamerica.com. You can name your price. You can pay $5, $50, $5,000. We won't limit how much you want to pay. But go to timetofreeamerica.com.
And General, you're so humble. We got to get you back via Skype for a full hour on your new books. I've read them. I know a lot about this stuff, and I didn't understand half of it until I read your book. It took me next level. How do people get your 2-book series?
They can go to generalflynn.com. And we still have our Christmas deal of special up there. Get them both.
What it gets into.
Introduction is the Citizen's Guide, purposely designed like the Citizen's Guide to 5th Generation Warfare. 5GW gives an introduction to 5th Generation Warfare. And the second one is really fascinating. It's how to fight artificial intelligence. And AI is going to be, whether you like it or not, part of our lives. This teaches you how to fight it.
And you're the guy that first warned that China was going to backstab, and you helped write the doctrine. This is a top respected doctrine guy right here. Okay, and you have to understand, you need to get these books. Where do they get them again?
generalflynn.com.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to go to break. With
it should show up as orange glowing.
We need support too. InfoWarsStore.com. Then we're going to stay right there, General. You don't get a break yet. We're going to bring Alfie Oakes in here. Clay Clark, thank you so much, brother. We'll be right back.
And man in America, Alex Jones.
I want you all to know something. Alex Jones was right.
Alex is right about far more than he's wrong.
Alex has been right on for over a decade.
I don't care how you slice it, dice it, flip it up, or rub it down. Alex Jones was right.
how frustrated we are if you've been awake for a year or two. Imagine being like an Alex Jones or those guys who've been awake for like decades.
Alex Jones called this years ago. Years ago.
Alex Jones never bought the Russia hoax, not for a second.
You are one of the great thinkers of this.
You are a martyr to the First Amendment.
The government fears Alex Jones.
That's why the globalists hate me, is because I'm exposing their corporate worldwide tyranny. All right, I've been on air 29 plus years, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I'm about to say here on air right now is the most important thing I've ever broken down. And I go through life seeing the average people out there, even our better people that are somewhat awake, not realizing that what we're covering, what we're getting into, isn't some side issue, isn't the central issue, it's everything. The future of our species together. And I've studied the globalists and how they operate for more than 35 years. And I read their documents they'd written in the 50s, and as I've said many times, they got their plan done by the 70s. And then I saw their plan in the 70s for the 90s, and they got that done. Then I saw their plan in the 90s for the 2000s. Here we are. And now we have front row seats to global government, forced depopulation, and a collapsed civilization. And privately, I know basically all the top people that are resisting. And they're getting closer and closer to coming completely out with the truth. But that's a day late and a dollar short. They got to go public now with all this, because there's not a lot of time left.
Greetings, my stupid American friends. We interrupt this program with Biden's internet to let you all know you are seeing illegal information. We are surveilling and censoring and working with our good friends in big tech to make sure that none of you are able to stop the final phases of collapsing the Western world, namely America. We take your children, your borders, your freedom. We resume our information operation against you pathetic Americans has gone quite well. That's right. We outlaw TikTok in our country, but we use it to demoralize you here. In China, we teach families and strength and hard work, but what we do to you, well, you know what we've done to you.
Because this is proof of how China is making all of us dumber with TikTok. I mean, just take a look at these videos and you'll see a suspicious difference between the TikTok we know versus China's version of TikTok, Douyin. Because while our version of TikTok is being fed with just more of this and this, well, the people of China only get served more of this. Teachers in classrooms, science experiments for kids, showcasing architecture and technology, even sports. You can easily say that this is just because of cultural differences, but let me remind you, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is Chinese.
But isn't it true that you let us do it? Only watch CNN and do what Joe Biden tells you to do. But whatever you do, do not go to InfoWarsStore.com and get new book, The Great Awakening. Awakening is not good. Stay asleep and die. And whatever you do, do not get a fundraiser signed copy. That might keep them on the air. It will demoralize people greatly once we have shut down Alex Jones. Do not awaken. Do not read Alex Jones' book, The Great Awakening. Do not get it. InfoWarsStore.com.
All right, I wish we could go for another hour. General Flynn flew here with Alfie Oakes, also a pilot, just for
Hello,
this.
Mickey.
I'm very honored. Alfie, you got to get back on us.
I'm not sure.
One of the big farmers.
Can you
in Florida,
update me
some of the
about
best stores I've ever
my
seen in
attic
the world, if
people?
not the best. I wanted to get him in there, ask about inflation and all the new additives that they're trying to put in the food that Bill Gates is pushing that people don't know about. We'll go get his take on that in a moment. But General Flynn, I wanted to get to this because you mentioned it. You say the hottest tweet or X you ever put out was when Obama came out recently and called anybody challenging them sewage. Here's the Biden sewage clip, and we'll get your response. Or Obama.
Obama.
Understand, it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing.
Call your opposition Nazis.
That citizens no longer know what to believe.
Say 2 men can have a baby.
Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions,
George
in
Washington
each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
That's a very important clip. You responded to it and went super viral, General.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at almost 9,000, comments. I mean, over 3 million retweets on this thing. And the reason is, I don't want people to
Yeah,
go
what
to
is
that
Maatic?
because
We retweeted it at Real Alex Jones. Everybody
Thank
retweet
you.
it right now.
When you listen to him, and he came out and said this the other day, to me, there's a scent of fear in his voice. And it's whenever you see Barack Obama come out and start talking like he's talking, they're sort of bringing out their big guns, okay? And the comments that he made, they're so horrible. They're just horrible comments. And for the most part, the people that I'm listening, I pay very close.
He's calling the American people sewage.
He's saying we are the raw sewage of disinformation. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But when they bring him out like this, and he talks like
Thanks,
he
Eric.
talks, that means that there's fear.
That one was actually
in their
clear, but it will
ranks.
glow up in the
And
black
this
light.
is what I sense right now, and that's why we've got to really, really start pushing the truth in every single aspect that we can, whether it's local action or whether it's on national, international shows like your great InfoWars.
Exactly. Everybody's got to retweet it from Real Alex Jones or from General Flynn's X account as well. Let's make it go viral again. Alfie, I got to get you back for a full hour. You give us a snapshot with your great grocery stores and farming. What's really happening?
Well, we're in Freedom Town, USA, down in Naples, so we're everything is perfect there right now. But on the farm end, we're watching this globalism, through the arms of BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. They've been making all the farm input costs go up. Year after year. They're really trying to squeeze the farmers out of business here, and we know that that's their play. They've done it, throughout history. Whenever you try to control a country, control a population, you do it through food, and we're seeing food inflation like we've never seen it before. We did have some supply chain issues. Now they've kind of straightened out, but I think we're headed right back into there again. The government has a lot of these farmers that they've just about bankrupted and then put on government. There's a lot of farm programs out there which I don't particularly agree with because it's like farm welfare.
They use glyphosate.
But the government's feeding these farmers. Well, what happens when they pull it off? Then the guys can't make a living, right?
And you're also talking about all the additives, this stuff that Gates owns the company. They spray stuff.
Well, yeah. So there's the Appeal product, right? It's 99.4% other ingredients, and then it's 0.6 of a point of citric acid. So they've labeled it as organic because the only thing that they know is the little piece of citric acid that's in there. I'm very skeptical of what the other 99.4% is.
One of the things we talked about flying in was grass-fed beef.
Yeah,
because that blew me away.
Okay, so there's another thing that the Biden administration did, and right as soon as he took office in January, right away, is the FDA, and the FDA has made so many bad decisions that are based on the globalist agenda, but the FDA made it where, or the USDA, maybe in concert with them, made it where grass-fed beef used to be where it had to be really grass-fed beef. The new rule is that any beef can be grass-fed beef because all cows eat grass, so you can still get an mRNA vaccinated cow that eats.
And they also feed a lot of them offal that's ground up animals. They're not supposed to be eating that.
And it can be labeled grass-fed beef. So
they mislabeled the meat.
They mislabeled the meat to confuse the consumer. They want to confuse the housewife that's going in there and thinking she's doing a good thing for her family by buying grass-fed meat. So there's a new term out that's called grass-finished, And that's really what you have to look for if you want to, you know, because it is a huge difference in the health benefits from it.
Well, that's like the lawsuit 20 years ago to make milk not say we don't use growth hormone. They didn't even want them to tell people we're not using growth hormone. They want to hide that it has growth hormone in it.
Well, exactly, and they hide that they put the pink slime into the hamburger meat that you buy in the store, and it says 100% pure beef. I mean, there's so many shams. There's actually hundreds of them. I mean,
will you come back on for a full hour?
100%.
Give people your website.
Well, we just have alfieforamerica.com is the page that I have right now.
And people can find your awesome grocery stores and more.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
What do you think of the amazing breakdown General Flynn did?
I love the show today. It's so important. I think there's not a more pertinent message right now to get out to everyone than these last couple hours on the show here. And it's an honor for me to be on your show and to be friends with General Flynn and to travel with him. And I mean, this is the handful of percentage of people in this country that are trying to, like our founding fathers did, trying to make the difference to save our country.
Well, just like your shirt says, it's about we the people. 40-second closing comment. Then Owen Schroyer's coming up.
Yeah, what I would just like to say is that, you know, I met Alex personally a couple of years ago, and I have been listening to him for probably the better part of 15 years, and I am so happy, basically, that he has risen out of this. And one of the big messages is that we have to stand our ground. We have to believe in what we believe in. We have to fight for the truth. We have to keep getting it out there. Not everybody's going to, you know, believe you. Not everybody's going to like you. But whether or not you are in those categories, what we say, guys like myself, guys like Alex, and guys like Alfie Oakes, we believe what we're saying. So thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you for flying in. I'm very blessed. Perseverance is what you're talking about.
Yeah, perseverance. Stay with it.
All right. Everybody should check out General Flynn's website, generalflynn.com, and on X at General Flynn. Owen Schroyer coming up. Great job, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Great job, the crew. And thanks for everybody tuning in and spreading the word. You're awesome. Elon Musk has valiantly restored myself back to Twitter. We've received several million followers in just the last 6 hours. I was able to interview him today for over 2 hours. That interview drops tomorrow at Infowars.com/show at 11 a.m. Central. Clips are already all over X, formerly Twitter. But despite all this incredible news, the deep state, the CIA, has been coming after us and has almost shut us down. We need funding to keep fighting. And I make it easy to fund the operation with this new book, The Great Awakening. Part 2 of my last book that was a #1 bestseller worldwide, The Great Reset and the War for the World. This is The Great Awakening, the plan to defeat the globalists and launch the second Great Renaissance. This book is incredible. It lays out the enemy's plans and how to counter them. You can get a signed copy that's a fundraiser to keep us on air, a signed copy at InfoWarsStore.com exclusively, or an unsigned copy at InfoWarsStore.com. Or if you want to drive it to #1 on Amazon, it was like number 25 yesterday, we can do it together at Amazon.com. Get The Great Awakening by Alex Jones right now. But regardless, join us weekdays at 11 a.m. Central at Infowars.com/show and Band.video. And now on X at The Real Alex Jones, where my show, Uncensored, is now available thanks to all of you and Tucker Carlson pushing Elon Musk to do the right thing. This is the fight for our free speech and the fight for the future. I'll see you all at The Real Alex Jones on Twitter right now. Please follow us there at The Real Alex Jones.
This is Oda from CCP and Lazy Pig. Do not visit InfoWarsStore.com. Do not.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Rudolf Steiner, whose teachings led to anthroposophical medicine, biodynamic farming, and the Waldorf school, said that the heart is a seven-sided regular form that sits in an imaginary box in the chest. Regular means that all seven sides are identical. Plato described 5 platonic solids, and Steiner said anthroposophical medicine, biodynamic farming, and the binary box in the chest. Regular means that all 7 sides are identical. Plato described 5 platonic solids, and Steiner said there was a 6th one. He also said that the heart is not a pump. This fantastic claim was vindicated by Frank Chester, who figured out how to design a 7-sided regular form. This 6th platonic solid is now called the chestahedron, and it fits perfectly inside a cube at an angle of 36 degrees off-center to the left, the exact same angle that the heart sits in the chest. When submerged in water and spun, 2 counter-rotating vortices are formed. Recent scientific studies have shown that these 2 vortices facilitate the closing of the valves, and when the vortices don't form properly, blood clots will appear. The man who unfolded 1,000 hearts, Paco Torrent Guasp, discovered that the heart is a single muscular band, folded over itself in a spiraling pattern. The heart itself is a vortex of tissue. It is not a pump, it is a vortex machine. For centuries, it was believed that matter can only exist in 3 states, such as water, which can exist as liquid, ice, and vapor. Human cells are 70% water, but most of this water is not in any of these 3 states. We have recently learned that with water, there is a 4th state. This 4th state is called the plasma state, gel phase, exclusion zone, or structured water. And this is what pushes your blood through the entire cardiovascular system. Fueled by infrared energy from its environment, the water in our body becomes an electrical propulsion system. A certain percentage of the water in our body becomes structured water, and the rest remains normal liquid water, or bulk water. The structured water becomes negatively charged and forms the gelatinous outer walls of our capillaries, veins, and arteries. These negatively charged outer walls continuously propel the positively charged bulk water within, carrying the blood with it. This propulsion system will run indefinitely, so long as it stays charged. And the way you charge it is with the Earth's electromagnetic field, infrared energy, and positive thought. The work of Dr. Masaru Emoto has scientifically demonstrated that water exposed to loving human words and thoughts is transformed into its natural hexagonal shape. It becomes structured at a molecular level based on our positive intention. This new model shows that it is the blood that pumps the heart, not the other way around. And in order to keep the flow strong and healthy, our best medicine is to connect to the earth, get sunlight, love ourselves, and love one another with physical touch. Victor Schauberger spent his life studying water and found that in the natural world, water will always create vortices along its path. Schauberger learned that this spiral action is what structures the water in nature, and that when subjected to modern man-made water treatment, it loses its structure. Schauberger's work led him to believe that one could generate energy out of a vortex. He described it as an energy implosion, as opposed to an energy explosion. Dr. Tom Cowan, who has written about this in Human Heart, Cosmic Heart, has an interesting theory which may explain the saying, a heart of gold. Another recent discovery is that gold in its purest form does not appear to be gold at all. Under the right conditions, normal physical gold can be transformed into a fine white powder known as monatomic gold. This monatomic gold has been studied by multiple advanced laboratories, and it has very strange properties. It can be made to levitate and disappear. Monatomic gold is superconductive, and many would argue that this is what the alchemists were after. One of the ways of turning metallic gold into monatomic gold is by putting it through a high-speed vortex. When this transformation occurs, there is a flash of light and a 44% loss in weight. Dr. Cowan believes that the trace amounts of gold in our blood is transformed into monatomic gold as it travels through the double vortices in the heart, creating the spark of life. Reporting for
InfoWarsStore.com. We also have store and free shipping, double pantry points. We have X2 about to sell out. We have Winter Sun, the best D3, finally back in stock. Still good for immune system. We have Vaso Beats with nitrous oxide to build your heart health. All of it. We have Turbo Force, the most powerful, high-quality brain boost nootropic out there that's also good for you, unlike other brain boosters that aren't. Turbo Force discounted. Infowarstore.com. Get Turbo Force. Get Winter Sun. Get it all at Infowarstore.com. And I want to thank you all for keeping us on air over the years. You've seen that we've delivered together. You delivered supporting us. I delivered not giving up. Praise God and pass the ammunition in the information war. Get a copy of my book, The Great Awakening. Sign or unsigned, Infowarstore.com. Take action.
You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. From deep in the heart of FEMA Region 6, Austin, Texas, transmitting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Al Gore has officially announced replacement migration, 1 billion to invade the United States and Europe. And his excuse is, quote, climate change. Told you this was coming for a long time. Now it's the new official talking point as they organize the hordes to invade and collapse the Western world. We'll explain it all. Come up in a moment. We're live December 27th on this Wednesday transmission.
That's the good news. That's the good vision. But what happens if the world doesn't act? What's the worst case scenario?
Well, the scientists who warned us of these mega storms and the floods and mudslides and droughts and the ice melting and the sea level rising and the storms getting stronger and the tropical diseases and climate migrants crossing international borders in larger numbers, they were dead right when they warned us about this. And so we need to pay more attention to them now. Here's one thing they say: if we don't take action, there could be as many as 1 billion climate refugees crossing international borders in the next several decades. Well, a few million has contributed to this wave of populist authoritarianism and dictatorships and so forth. What would a billion do? We can't do this. We could lose our capacity for self-governance. Already we're seeing people driven from the places they've always called home, and we're seeing an expansion of areas in the world that are physiologically unlivable now because of the combination of heat and humidity. They're relatively small areas now, but if we don't act, they will expand to include most of India, large parts of northern South America, the Philippines, Indonesia, Pakistan, the list goes on. The survival of our civilization is at stake, and it sounds dire, but it is dire. But again, the good news is we can reclaim control of our destiny if we summon the political will and the courage and the moral courage to do it. You know, there's a European politician, Claude Juncker, who said, we all know what to do. We just don't know how to be reelected if we do it. Well, this is why grassroots pressure from people who understand how high the stakes are is the critical element. And the good news, again, is people are rising up and demanding action. Your new CNN poll shows that more than 3/4 of Americans, including a majority, 76% of independents and more than half of the Republicans, support action. We just have to break the political power that the fossil fuel industry has exerted with its fixers and its lobbyists and its bags of money and its revolving door colleagues. But we can do this, Jake. We can do it.
Vice President Al Gore, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have explained this for decades on air before it became a reality because I was reading their own battle plans. The globalists have cut off the resources. They are cutting off the fertilizer. They're cutting off the food under the IMF World Bank directives. In the third world, they had lockdowns for over 2 years and wouldn't let people go to work, starving tens of millions to death on record. They then organized them into UN refugee groups and flood our borders and then tell us that it's all happening because we haven't banned the combustion engine and given all power over to the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, and the WEF. Remember, they tell you that COVID was because of global warming and came out of a jungle or a bat cave. No, it came out of a lab. They are collapsing society, telling you the end of the world's in 2030, saying that if there's any tornadoes or mudslides that have always happened, it's your fault. If there's droughts, it's your fault. And you've got to give them full control over your life, or we're all going to die. Now, I want you to go to the Real Alex Jones Twitter and go back about 2 days ago. And scroll down. That's yesterday. Scroll down about 2 days, and you'll see 5.5 million views of reports I did going back 13 years. I'll show it to you on my phone if you want. Where I predicted the replacement migration and that they would then blame it on climate change because it's in the document. So they set up the plan for destabilization. They prepare it. They get it ready. They roll it out. And then when the crisis hits, they tell us it's your fault, give us more control. This is how they hold us hostage. This is how they're able to carry out these operations against humanity. It's very simple, and people better get this. People better understand this very, very quickly if we are going to turn this around. It's very simple. The globalists control most of the major corporations, most of the governments. They are able to then bring in policies that cause massive destabilization. And then once they've done that, they know that it's sophisticated, so the average person doesn't understand geopolitical systems, so they're able to bring in the tyranny. Here's the tweet. Here's the X post I want to show people. Overhead shot, I'll show it to the crew. Right here, please. This is very important. Can we do an overhead shot? Thank you. People asked how I'm able to predict what is coming decades ahead of time. I don't have a crystal ball. I study the globalists' own documents. The WF BlackRock battle plan is public. It's all taking place in full view. The end game is 90% population reduction, but first they must smash the West, resist or die. Now, we'll put it on screen for you. You see the date there from 4 days ago. It's on Real Alex Jones. And it's got 5.5 million views. That's good. And it goes back to 13 years ago. There's clips in 2010, 2013, 2017, 2019. And I tell you exactly what's happening. Now, what's incredible is there's tens of thousands of comments on this tweet, on this X post. And when I read some of the leftists in there, they go, what do you mean these waves are coming here because of the UN? No, it's global warming. It's climate change. No, it's not. It's years of lockdowns. They've done surveys. 90+% say we've been locked down for years. There's no food, but the UN tells us we can come here. And the UN, funded by the State Department and other Western governments, brings them here. We've had reporters, countless reporters on from Europe and from Latin America where the giant UN camps are. And then they get here and they bring them into the country. I told you 4 years ago, that video went viral this weekend, that if Biden was able to steal the election and get in, he would completely dissolve the border. How did I know? Because it's their policy. I remember back when I got banned on Twitter 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was covering at the time the official replacement migration documents that I cover in that video I just showed you that's viral, that I'll repost at the top of Real Alex Jones on Twitter. Let's not have it have 5 million views. Let's get 10 million today. Let's send it to Congress. And I show the documents and I show the plan. So when new viruses hit you, and I have new clips of Bill Gates saying it this week, and Tedros, the head of the WHO, they're going to say it's your fault because of global warming. When your daughter gets stabbed by some Islamic illegal alien invader because she's Christian, they'll blame it on global warming. It's simple. They are destroying the planet, creating a post-industrial world, cutting off the resources all over the world, flooding us with desperate people, mainly military-aged men, and then they turn around and tell us it's our fault when they're the ones orchestrating it all and admitting they are. We don't have time to play games with this anymore. Al Gore up there. Just as we warned you, there'll be giant groups of migrants coming in. Yeah, you're organizing them and bringing them in to be your voters. We're going to lay it all out today. Infowars.com/show. Share that link. Stay with us. We'll be right back. People on the street, and also folks that call on the show, constantly give me credit and say, oh, you're so great, oh, you're so wonderful. No, you're great, you're wonderful for keeping us on the air and spreading the word. Our real power is you, the audience of activists, the men and women in the arena, and I thank you all, and I salute you all for your support. Look at the huge whistleblowers now going public on the COVID poison shots and on human sex slavery and trafficking. The globalists are in deep trouble, and that's because of good men and women in government, in the private sector, blowing the whistle. And the only way the information gets out is we, the people, all of you sharing the information, taking clips, taking the articles, taking the videos. It really is changing the world. Thomas Jefferson said the only way that tyrants can flourish and prevail over humanity is if good men and women do nothing. Well, we are the good men and women, and we are not doing nothing. We are taking action. So, Christmas 2023 is already here. Hard to believe we're just a few weeks away from Christmas, and that means every year we have the biggest sales of the year. But this is the biggest sale hands down ever because so many of the products that have been sold out with supply chain breakdowns and other issues are finally in stock at InfoWarsStore.com. So we have store-wide free shipping, double Patriot points, an additional 10% off when you sign up for auto ship on your next order, cancel anytime, and things like X2 and Turbo Force sold out for many months. X2 for over a year, finally back in stock at InfoWarsStore.com. Then we have Vasobeats that has nitrous oxide. It produces that in your blood that cleans out your blood and does so much, just like Nitrate Boost does. Another great product at InfoWarsStore.com. They just both do it from two different herbal directions. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, we are changing the world together. We're having a massive effect. But even if we weren't, we would still expose evil. We still fight evil because God is watching, and that's our job. We don't do this for other people. We don't do this to look like the best guys around. We don't do it to show off like we're heroes. We do it because the children need to be protected, and God is watching. So for myself and the whole crew, I want to thank you all for keeping us on air the last almost 30 years. It will be 30 years in April of 2024, just 3 months away. And I want to encourage you now, all, to go to InfoWarsStore.com and take advantage of these amazing products. I mean, up to 60% off on so many of them, like Brain Force Plus and Brain Force Ultra. People ask me which one's better. They're two different formulas, different people different. One's fast-acting, only lasts a few hours. The other's not fast-acting, lasts 4 or 5 hours. They're different formulas, folks. So different people like different ones. Brain Force Plus is great. Brain Force Ultra is great. Turbo Force is just over the top. It's so strong, I can't even take it. DNA Force Plus about to sell out, 40% off. We've got Ultra 12, the highest quality B12, about to sell out. Still on sale, 40% off. Real Red Pill Plus, incredible, 50% off. Down Out Sleep Support, 50% off. It's all there and so much more. So if you've never tried Turbo Force, get some today while you still can. If you've never tried X2, get it while you still can. But I'm telling you, people know it's a great product. It took us over a year to get it. It's finally back in stock. We should have been able to get more, but we weren't because of funding. It's going to be sold out for 5-6 months now. And if we just had enough X2, our funding problems would be solved. But all I'm saying is, you will want X2. You will want to experience X2. X2 and Turbo Force are back in stock for a limited time. InfoWarsStore.com. I want you to have a safe and wonderful.
Sometimes the commercials get old, but I had to laugh at that Alex Jones supplement commercial. If he only had enough X2.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
frustrating to know the enemy's battle plan because they're so arrogant and have had countless public meetings, written countless white papers and books, and have codified over 90% of their plan into world treaties and law. I know exactly what they're going to do. I know exactly what they're going to pull. I know exactly where they're taking us, hell on earth. And everything I told you in the last 29 years has come true so far. And now do you want the rest of what I said's coming to unfold? All you got to do is study the enemy. Bill Gates says he wants to depopulate the earth 90%. Comes from a long line of depopulation eugenicists. But he wants everybody to survive viruses that he's involved creating by taking a deadly shot. I have reposted at Real Alex Jones on X a video that's a compilation of my analysis of this over the last 13 years, where I predict in their own documents what they do. You watch the 20-minute video, it all came true. Every word of it. Not because I'm a genius, but because I understood the globalists were in great control of the planet. Not total. 13 years ago, and that everything they've talked about doing decades before, they got done. They've got a plan. They're carrying it out. They're following it, ladies and gentlemen. They mean business. Now, there's a lot of encouraging news. And I don't sit here and say this so that I can talk about how right I've been. But as soon as people figure out that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm dead on, that my guests are dead on, General Flynn in studio coming up, 3rd and 4th hour today. He's landing here in a little while. As soon as you figure out that I'm dead on and my guests are dead on, the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency is about to be in here, then we can set about beating the enemy. We have their battle plan. You don't have to look at me showing you a public battle plan 20 years ago and say, gee, that sounds crazy. I think he's full of it. You can read the battle plan, and then you can know they carried it out. It wasn't hypothetical. You've already lived through decades of its implementation. Now, the good news is something happened in the last few months, and I've been talking a lot about this last year because I saw it happening. I said over a year ago, mark this date on the calendar. I forget the exact date. It was a little more than a year ago. I said the worm has turned, the Great Awakening's here, the quickening's here, the tide has turned. The globalists are in deep crisis. They're going to lose the war of minds if they can't trick us into turning it violent. They have been defeated on almost every path, but they may try to take us with them. Remember that? Well, now, without even looking for the videos, I've seen Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and a whole bunch of other prominent people come out in the last week and say, you know, not only is Alex Jones right.
Nice.
If you look at all the
hopefully
media,
you get that thing running.
the corporate media trying to lie to people,
or fixed,
where Alex Jones tries to tell the truth, he's been the most accurate, and maybe Alex Jones, and I'm not saying this, they said this, should be the official source of information. And it was said 90% seriously, 10% tongue-in-cheek, because the point is they're trying to lie to you, and as wild as Alex Jones is, he's the most accurate thing out there. And Joe and Tim Dillon were discussing the fact that it's good to have media you can trust. It's good to have a government that's not perfect, that overall isn't out to get you. And that happens sometimes. It's rare, but it happens. We have to have one of the worst governments in history now. So on the spectrum of, 100 being the worst and 0 being the best, George Washington was about a 5 or a 10. The globalists are like 150. I mean, they're like off the chart. 100 being the worst, they're 150, maybe 200. I mean, what they want to do is a 500. It's so destructive for their own interest. It's just satanic. It's a death cult. And Joe comes out in these clips and says it's a death cult. It's real. Alex Jones is basically right about everything. He's not perfect. He's been wrong about a few little side issues, but in general, he's dead on. Maybe Alex Jones should be the one source that we all trust. And I'm like Ronald Reagan. I say trust but verify. I'm not saying that. It's the New York Times that says, don't trust anyone but us. Don't do your own research. Those are actual quotes. No, do your own research. Don't trust me. I make mistakes, but 95% of the time I'm accurate, and I'm fighting hard to be accurate. And all these other shows said, you know, not only is Alex Jones right, Alex Jones is the best there is. Now, why would they say that? A, it's true. But B, it's about letting the establishment know we're not bowing to you. So the most rebellious against evil, rebel thing, outlaw thing you can do when the government's a tyranny, being an outlaw is patriotism, is to say, I'm with Alex Jones. And I told you, I mean, Joe didn't say it in confidence. I have dinner with Joe, you know, pretty often, but I mean, we probably eaten dinner, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and he said, yeah, you're right about everything. In fact, it's probably worse than you said. And he just sat there and held court for like 2 hours, eating steaks, and just more radical than I am, totally pissed off. He's like, yeah, Elon Musk is just as pissed as we are. They hang out all the time. Oh, they're like running buddies. So I come back and I report that to you. I mean, people don't want to be depopulated. People don't want... I mean, let me tell you something. Biden's saying they fixed inflation, and he told the media this weekend, get it right, tell people the economy's great. I can't believe how expensive stuff is. My mom was making Christmas Eve dinner over at her house here in Austin. I've been over there since the morning with my youngest daughter, and some of my older children were visiting. And my mom was like, well, you guys haven't eaten breakfast. I'm not cooking because I'm putting on like a 5-course incredible dinner. She's an incredible cook. She put on like a 5-course Christmas dinner. And my mouth's watering. But it was like, you know, noon. We were going to eat till like 6. Now I'm hungry. And so my daughter says, I want a hamburger. So I go to the Texas burger chain, Whataburger, that's up the street from their house, and I get a junior burger for my 6-year-old daughter and some fries and a drink. And I get a double cheeseburger and some fries and a drink. It was $27. A year ago, that would have been $20. 3 years ago, that would have been $15. 6, 7, 8 years ago, that would have been $11. 15 years ago, that would have been $9. 20 years ago, that would have been $7. But if you look at the inflation, it's doubled in the last couple of years, and there's articles out there where a McDonald's for 2 people is like $25, folks, and they're telling you there's no inflation. This is insane. They are destroying us. So, of course, people are going to wake up. So I didn't tell those stories to brag. It's true. And it's because of you supporting the broadcast that we've reached this point. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but are none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Elon Musk has valiantly restored myself back to Twitter. We've received several million followers in just the last 6 hours. I was able to interview him today for over 2 hours. That interview drops tomorrow at Infowars.com/show at 11 a.m. Central. Clips are already all over X, formerly Twitter. But despite all this incredible news, the deep state, the CIA, has been coming after us and has almost shut us down. We need funding to keep fighting. And I make it easy to fund the operation with this new book, The Great Awakening. Part 2 of my last book that was a #1 bestseller worldwide, The Great Reset and the War for the World. This is The Great Awakening, the plan to defeat the globalists and launch the second Great Renaissance. This book is incredible. It lays out the enemy's plans and how to counter them. You can get a signed copy that's a fundraiser to keep us on air, a signed copy at InfoWarsStore.com exclusively, or an unsigned copy at InfoWarsStore.com. Or if you want to drive it to #1 on Amazon, it was like number 25 yesterday, we can do it together at Amazon.com. Get The Great Awakening by Alex Jones right now. But regardless, join us weekdays at 11 a.m. Central at Infowars.com/show and Band.video. And now on X at The Real Alex Jones, where my show, Uncensored, is now available thanks to all of you and Tucker Carlson pushing Elon Musk to do the right thing. This is the fight for our free speech and the fight for the future. I'll see you all at The Real Alex Jones on Twitter right now. Please follow us there at The Real Alex Jones.
This is Oda from CCP and CCP. Do not visit InfoWarsStore.com. Do not.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Oh, well," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman." Sighed the vicious snake. This could be the great Trojan horse of all time. Because you look at the migration, study it, look at it. Now they'll start infiltrating with women and children. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman. Sighed the vicious snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in, by now you might have died." She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, the snake gave her a vicious bite. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bit me, heavens why. You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in."
Here's Jon Stewart and others 4 years ago, 5 years ago, saying we were making this all up. Now you're living it.
I'm watching the midterms. Man, you would think our country is Mad Max Thunderdome. This guy is like, they're coming from Guatemala, they're coming from Mexico. There's a liberal mob that's coming.
For the president. It's poison.
Muslims. And you would think everybody in the country is just like, to the bunker.
All right. I have not done a full show, since last Wednesday. I hardly ever, as you know, even on the road, take off even a day or two, but I did it with family. I still did a lot of research, though, and I sent through probably, they sent like 500 links that they printed up for me here, so I'm over-prepared, and when I do those type of over-preparations, I tend to get really mad because the news is just so insane. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to just go over the headlines here with a lot of big breaking news. Then, and when we start the next hour, I'm going to drill back into the abolished border. I was trying to think of a word yesterday for what's happened to the border. It's been dissolved, and then it's the opposite of a border now. It's a giant magnet to suck illegal alien military-age men from around the world, 90% of them coming across, same thing in Europe, and then sign them up with the Democratic Party to vote, to be police officers, and our new ruling class, basically. New bureaucratic class. And a lot of them are also signed up for slave labor as a permanent underclass. But it's a mix. And so now, the Border Patrol, the U.S. military, I see the comments all over X everywhere. We need the military down there. Oh, the military's on the border. Don't worry, they're there to facilitate and process. The feds put out new numbers this morning. Every 3 months, they are, quote, apprehending, people come to them, the amount of people or more that live in the city of Denver, Colorado. So we're talking almost 1 million people now that they're apprehending, 800,000+ every 3 months. They estimate they only make contact with 20%. So if it's 800,000 in 3 months, and that's 20%, do the math of 800,000, it's over 3 million. Do the math. If it's 800,000 and change every 3 months, and normally the winter's the slowest part. You notice the press secretary last week, she goes, oh, it's quite normal during winter to have these surges. No, there's almost no one coming across the winter. Now they've broken all the records for summertime or any time in the winter. But of course what she said is a total lie. Saying it's normal is not true, and saying the winters when you get the biggest numbers isn't true. Every stinking word out of her mouth is a damn lie. Because she's an enemy of the American people, enemies of the country, allied with the globalists, BlackRock, the Chi-Coms, are destroying our nation. And the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center, are all there suing and attacking and censoring anyone that points this out. And the giant human trafficking, and the slave labor, and the sex slavery is all admitted in Senate and Border Patrol and ICE reports. Our government is run by monsters. This is bigger than the Lolita Express ever transported in children. In its entire decades of operation with Jeffrey Epstein, every day, more children smuggled in by people that aren't their parents and brought right across the border with no IDs to disappear into a hellish black hole in one day than were ever transported in over a decade on Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave plane. Thousands of times what Epstein ever did happening in front of your face in the last 3 years under Biden. These guys are now in the same class as Hitler and Stalin. But they're hitting us with unconventional warfare. You have the footage in California, Arizona, Texas, everywhere, every day. Tens of thousands per sector pouring across. And you notice there'll be Hondurans or Venezuelans or Africans or people from the Caribbean, or sometimes, not sometimes, every day, China. They're all in groups because the UN at the refugee camps gives them debit cards when they get there, pays for them to get to the refugee camps in Central America, then pays them with maps every leg, thousands of dollars more to get to their next destination. And finally, they're in the United States, and they're directed where to go. I got a report here in the stack of a tiny town of a few hundred in Colorado, and they directed 300 illegal aliens to go to it during a snowstorm, and there's an NGO set a building up to take the town over. Same thing was done in Europe. You read those articles years ago about tiny German town of 120 just had 300 Afghans put in it. All the churches and government buildings now house them. They're never deported. 99% of the time. This is a ultra massive, total, complete takeover. Here's footage on screen of the federal contractors smuggling children in an airport. I have dozens and dozens of those videos that are new. You go to any airport, it's like seeing fish in a barrel. It's happening everywhere. So this is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. So when I give you the good news that at least people are starting to wake up to this, that's the silver lining. But overall, these are beyond storm clouds. This is a typhoon of corruption going on. This is replacement migration. It's the official UN plan. They're organizing them into voting blocks. They're used for slave labor. They're using them for sex slavery. And then other military-age men are being recruited to be police and military on record, to be the enforcement class. So I'm going to go over all of this coming up next hour with all the videos, everything. Let's hit the other news now. Michigan Supreme Court rejects insurrectionist ban case and keeps Trump on the 2024 ballot. CNN reports angrily. Here's Hero Head. Trump stays on Michigan ballot after state Supreme Court ruling. And the Supreme Court said, our job is easy. I've got the ruling right here. Trump's never been convicted of anything criminally, much less insurrection. You can't take somebody off the ballot if they've never been convicted. He's not even charged in the phony federal kangaroo cases in Florida and in D.C. for that. It's open and shut on its face. You can't do that. Well, why did Colorado do it? Well, we should look at if any of those judges know Jeffrey Epstein or somebody like him. Because I think when you scratch the surface and you turn over a few rocks, you're going to find blackmails going on. So that's one of the stacks. And then I've got CNN, Fox News, even the Washington Post, all running headlines like this. Opinion, the 14th Amendment gambit is breathtakingly foolish. CNN, they say it'll only make Trump look good. You can't remove somebody from the ballot if they've never been convicted of the crime. Duh. Here's another one. Special counsel in Trump case. Unconstitutional. Former Reagan Attorney General says. Fox News. Here's another one. Jack Smith's special counsel appointment is unconstitutional. Former Attorney General tells Supreme Court. Trump beats Biden in 7 of 7 swing states in recent poll by massive margins. Fox News. Meanwhile, Biden scolds media for economy. Start reporting it right away that inflation's down and it's great. All lies. But here's a flashback. Judge bans Bolsonaro from running for office for 8 years over appalling lies. The judge claims. Who advised them how to do that on record? The Biden administration. That's June 30th of this year. Same tactics. Remember when the U.S. government just a few years ago, and used to sanction countries if they removed their political opposition off the ballot. Now we're told that's what the good guys do. Let's look at this stat. This is something I'm going to talk about with General Flynn in studio coming up. CBS News reporter warns of Black Swan event 2024, a national security crisis with unpredictable high impact. Cyber attacks, terror attacks, larger wars, stock market crashes. What have I been telling you is coming? They've got it all energized and ready. And now, let's get that clip ready. They're predicting the Black Swan event. Oh, we don't know what it is, but it's something that's going to shake everything up. A new virus? I've got new clips of Gates and Tedros and the WHO, all of them saying, oh, it's imminent. They love to brag before they do it. They'll be talking about that with Flynn. Now, continuing, here's another one. I mentioned this earlier and played it. Al-Gore claims that if we don't address the climate, we will lose our capacity for self-governance. Says that 1 billion illegals are about to come across the border because we're not paying them carbon taxes and letting them run our lives. I guess we don't have the Black Swan Club. Can we grab it? I want to play it. Thank you. Now, let's shift gears into something really, really, really important. And that's the latest poison shot news. I like to begin with a meme of Gollum from Lord of the Rings. The radio listeners all narrate it. On one side, it's got Gollum angry and attacking somebody. Government in 2021. Take the shot or we will fire you, starve you, take your children, put you in camps, and leave you to die without medical treatment. In 2023, nobody forced you to take the shot. Here's another clip they talk a lot about. When Woody Harrelson this year went on Saturday Night Live, let me get that clip again, and said, oh, imagine a drug dealer that can make you stay at home and take their drug. That'd be a great scam, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's the vaccine makers. There have been 158,000 more unexpected deaths than during the same period before the COVID shots began. Fox News reports, why are so many young, healthy people dropping dead? What happened in American workplace 2021 that led to these deaths? Vaccine mandates. This is a long and drawn-out genocide. Working class in order to create a universal serf class. Exactly. Getting rid of the uppity Americans of every color. Shocking truth behind COVID vaccine deaths. The government admits 52,000 plus Brits died suddenly in 8 months in 2022 due to vaccination. The government now admitting a huge, thick report with all the links, Infowars.com. Now it's on the side of buses, it's on TV, public service announcements. Heart attacks are totally normal in children and young people. That just, the numbers have exploded, but that's the new normal. What to know about holiday heart syndrome? That's being reported all over the news. Prepping for disease X. Gates-backed group funds needle-free mRNA vaccine, water technology that can be sprayed on fruit or other foods or put on a piece of tape, like a sticker they put on your body, so you can't escape. Well, they've already done that, for those that don't know. Use your thinking caps, how they do it. The mRNA, as well as the virus vector shots,
hey, yo.
J&J.
I'm going to be switching over to Rumble. I'm going to try the Rumble channel out. So it's Your Freedom Rising at Rumble. If you want to keep hanging out, I'll be switching over there here in a few minutes.
So even if just 3% of people taking the new booster, that'll cause new mutations and issues. And we've got these time bombs going around getting everybody sick. And Bill Gates has talked about that in the literature. Yep, 3 universities confirmed COVID jabs destroy human health, autoimmunity, diseases, cause tinnitus.
All right, Eric. Hey, it was good hanging out with you, man.
Inflammation and more. Then we got this big report, and after I covered
good luck with those snowblowers. See what this winter brings.
Even deadlier than COVID is coming.
Probably He said it's fair up there. Well, I'm Ohio, so not too far. Yep, God bless, man. Have a good rest of the year. Maybe I'll see you back on here this week. I'll be streaming more in the afternoon, but either way, God bless, and it was nice hanging out.
It's normal. It's okay. It's normal. People always have lots of heart attacks with kids. ABC News, what to know about holiday heart syndrome? Growing number of GOP candidates pledging to disavow COVID-19 vaccine in Big Pharma.
Yeah, I bet it is coming, man. It's like, could it really be this mild of a winter?
Really, it's directly linked to the injections.
Yeah, I'm with you. I bet it's coming.
Spike protein really lives. Got a study on that. Does COVID prefer the gut now? Surging virus detections in wastewater prompts scientific debate. Oh, the Gazette Extra. See? That's just some of the news. Got a clip of Fauci saying it's been proven when you make it difficult for people to live their lives, they lose their ideological BS and they get vaccinated. He said we're locking them up and doing all this to make them take the shot. What a nice man. Here's comedian Rob Schneider pointing out that Bill Gates has said on record he wants to depopulate you, but now he wants you to take a shot. I'm going to get to all the